think a lot of the things that we did differently in this session have to do with the fact that a lot of the manipulating of sounds is a lot more immediate.
There was no reamping that we did after the fact, none. And there's very little sort of effecty processing going on in the mix stage. We were trying to do things really quickly here, and so I was just like, we better get it sounding how we want it to as it's going down.
I always sort of heard at the last moment just those two notes, and I don't know if they're kind of already there. Like a cat crying for its mom.
You do it all the time. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, let's do that.
Records don't have to sound great to be great. That's a lot of what I've been thinking about as far as making records lately. If you listen to things like the Stooges' first record, that's not a good sounding record at all, but it's a classic record.
It's not like a Muppet Baby or something.
I really enjoy making things sound, fucked up at certain times and also really nice. And I like the way that those two things can kind of relate to each other. When I first heard Creepoid, they had a lo-fi thing going, but I could tell that they were good and they had good songs. And part of the reason why I approached them when I first did was because this concept would really work for them.
Sean, I would try. Don't go down at the end. That makes it sound a little too much like a voice.
This session was a really great opportunity to use some of the best sounding mics in the world along with some of the most obscure kind of crappy things. For this episode, we had our hands on the entire line of Telefunken mics again. For the drums on the overheads, we started with the Telefunken Elam 260s as a stereo pair. Once we got those dialed in and sounding good, we taped those Webcore, CB radio mics directly to the mic stand and had those mixed in with the overhead sound. On the room mic, we had the Telefunken U47 out in the middle of the room, and then to augment that one, we had another toy kind of mic really close in on the drums, shoved into the middle of everything.
Using the crappier mics, they can become a specific texture within the song. To establish the song, I kind of had all the drum mics on and making sure that everybody knew up through the first chorus, this is what the drums sound like. And then to kind of make things a little bit more interesting for the second verse, we cut out all the expensive microphones, like the overheads, the snare, so it just turned into mostly just the crappy mics. At that point also, there's kind of a lull in the song. All the guitars kind of become suggestive, and I kind of like that because then it pulls your attention to the vocals.
For Sean's lead vocal, we used a Shure SM7 and paired that up with a Telefunken Elam 260.
And what we did was we cranked the treble out of the Telefunken and compressed it, smashed it. And then mixed that in with a more open sounding SM7. And so that got all of the articulation that, we would have had a problem pulling out of the SM7 just being open. And, we just kind of mixed that in as much as we needed it.
On the background vocals, we had the Telefunken Elam 251 set up in the room, and that was paired with the giant plastic toy microphone.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more time.
Yeah.
It's a toy that you can get at maybe Target or Walmart or something like that. And I just taped a contact microphone onto it, and it sounds really terrible. But if you kind of mix it in with something else, it gives it this really haunting quality, With Creepoid in here, we had a day to do everything, like recording everything. So we had to get things done quickly, and I'm sitting there realizing, like, I spent a lot of work working on some of these other records to get them to the point where they had all the same character that it could have possibly had in one take. The Weathervane thing has kind of got me rethinking, like, how I do things on a normal basis. You know, searching for these characteristic moments within a take, you know, if you just don't worry about it too much.